Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello-y, my name is Loey, and I say in pretty much every single one of my scary side of TikTok videos that these videos are not possible without you guys tagging me in your scary video finds. But today we're looking specifically at Glitch in the Matrix TikToks, and I have to say, you guys have been on a roll recently with the TikToks that you have been tagging me in. I don't know if we have some weird telepathic link or something like that, but I literally was just thinking how I wanted to make another Glitch in the Matrix video, and you guys tagged me in some of the weirdest Glitch in the Matrix videos we've seen in a long time. So I think we have like 20 something videos to get through. I'm so excited to share them with you. Before we get into it, you guys, today's video is sponsored by Raycon. Oh my god, I've actually made it. I've heard so many YouTubers and so many of my friends rave about the Raycon everyday earbuds for longer than I can remember, but I've never been an earbud girl because the ones that I've tried in the past have been uncomfortable in my ears. They always fall out. They never hold a charge. And then I got my first pair of Raycon's everyday earbuds and I realized, oh no, I just wasn't using the right ones. So these are my Raycon everyday earbuds. I have this gorgeous purple color. I also got this really cute little case to match. The noise canceling is crazy. I don't even have any audio playing, but my own voice sounds muffled to me. And with Father's Day coming up, why not treat your father figure to an amazing pair of Raycon's everyday earbuds? Because Raycon's latest model is better than ever with 32 hours of battery life. That's 32 hours of your dad hitting the gym or cooking on the grill or whatever it is that he enjoys doing in his time. One of my favorite features of the everyday earbuds is the quick charging feature, because you know already that your girl never keeps her electronics charged. But just 10 minutes of charging these gives you 90 minutes of playtime, and you will not believe how many flights that saved me for. I have put these to the test, okay? I've worn them on so many runs, cleaning the yard, gardening, and they never ever fall out. They stay nice and secure in my ear, and they never get uncomfortable. I actually have no idea how they do that. So this Father's Day, why not surprise your father figure with the gift of Raycon's everyday earbuds? They start at just half the price of other premium earbud brands, and Raycon is offering you guys 15% off site-wide when you go to buyraycon.com/LoeyLane. So thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring this video, but also thank you guys for using my link when you shop from Raycon. It really does help out the channel. And now let's get into the spooky videos. I don't know if the simulation is just glitching, but there are so many Glitch in the Matrix videos going viral on TikTok lately. One of which comes from the TikToker mellojelloooooo, who was just filming a haul video showing off some new shoes that she got when something strange happened.
This lighting's trash, but here are the boots. The boots I thrifted yesterday. You guys are gonna think they're ugly. I just trust. Spurs. How funny. I guess they're super kinky, but I don't know. Yeah, these are them.
And I'm sure all of you saw that. It looks as if she puts the shoe down next to her, then she reaches over and pulls two shoes out. And so the comment section was like, why did you buy 3 cowboy boots? That's so random. And this poster makes this as a response video.
I just watched back the video of me showing you the boots where I was confused, like why people thought I was showing 3 boots. What the frick? It clearly looked like I put them down somewhere else and then I grabbed 2 new ones out of... That is actually like that. We caught a glitch on camera. That is insane. I am on the toilet.
I've seen a lot of mixed responses on this. Some people saying you can see her move it back over to the other boot and not set it down beside her. I don't think you can see that. I've like slowed this footage down and really studied every single frame. That's obviously very possible and probably much more likely than a third boot just randomly appearing and then disappearing. But it was a very strange optical illusion that had TikTok in quite the tizzy for a few days. And I'm honestly still not totally convinced that it wasn't a glitch in the Matrix. And we see item duplication glitches in pretty much every single one of these Glitch in the Matrix videos. One of the most popular ones that I see is people's nails duplicating. So someone will have a fresh full set of nails that of course they claim are not like press-ons or anything, they're just like nails that they got done, and they'll randomly find one of them broken off even when they're not missing any nails. Those I typically take with a bit of a grain of salt because they are so easy to fake. All you need is a set of press-on nails. But in the cases where people really do get a fresh acrylic set or a gel set and they're not missing any, and they have a really distinctive shape or pattern or something, those still really weird me out. I also recently stumbled across this glitch where someone said, found my ring in the bathroom while deep cleaning, except I'm already wearing my ring. They're literally identical. Same size, same stone, same everything, including the same clasp that I bent when I got it stuck on my jumper years ago, except the clasp bent on the new ring is a mirror image of my ring. That's a little weirder, okay? Because it's not even just a piece of jewelry that somehow duplicated itself. It has this flaw in it that you've had in your other ring for years. I think I'll always be a little mixed on item duplication glitches. Ones like that, I'm like, I don't understand any logical explanation for this, any logistical way that this ring could have duplicated itself. But ones like losing a nail and you haven't really lost a nail, you know, finding an extra nail in your car or something like that, those I don't take as seriously. But what do you guys think? Even going back to the boots from earlier, do you think that was a glitch? And have you ever had an item duplication glitch where something you own just randomly multiplies? I'm so curious. A TikTok user named Danny recently went viral online for a clip that he posted of the sky seemingly glitching out. In it, he explains that what you're about to see is not some trick of the camera. He saw this with his own eyes and just happened to be recording.
As I'm taking this video, the sky done something weird, like it glitched. And I wasn't looking through the phone, like I was scanning the field, but I was like looking at the field and I seen the sky do it. And I was like, what the world? And I stopped the video and I went back and my phone caught it. I don't know what it is. It's weird for sure. I'll show you guys a video. Check it out. Tell me what you think. It's kind of weird.
I don't want to discount that it could be the camera glitching on the sky and that maybe he didn't see what he thought he did, but if we're taking it at face value here, if he's saying, you know, I saw this with my own eyes, what is a logical explanation for that? It literally looks like the sun glitches out, like we're in a GTA 5 map. And I was scrolling through the comment section to see if netizens had any theories on the matter or any kind of scientific explanations. But instead what I saw was commenter after commenter saying that they had seen the same exact thing recently, or that they had seen some other glitch in the sky. One person said that they saw 2 suns in the sky the other day. And there was this one random comment with like 3 likes that I found so fascinating. It comes from a beekeeper living in Florida who says that they basically live outside. I see this frequently. Notice a lot of changes in the sun too. Sunflowers don't chase the sun anymore, and I've noticed bees behave differently. Bees wake, work, and sleep with the sun. Their patterns have changed over the last 3 to 4 years. It's wild. Like I said, the most logical explanation here is that it is just the camera glitching, but I found it really fascinating that so many people in the comment section said that they had seen something similar. So have you seen the sky glitching and being weird recently? And if you have, what has your experience been like? As a certified horse girl, I didn't even plan this. I'm just wearing this shirt. I saw this video from 5150 Farm and Rescue of their horses just glitching right on out.
My horses are frozen in time because it's a glitch in the matrix.
Obviously, they're not really frozen in place. I mean, you can see one of them literally move in this clip. These horses are the definition of when fight or flight is presented. Instead, they just freeze. This TikToker was just cooking something on the stove when suddenly it looked like her pot started buffering. The comments on this video were sending me into orbit. Restart your Wi-Fi, girl. I don't know. God forbid the game developers have a low budget. What, you wanted them to animate the whole thing? Someone said the lamp looks weird. God, Reddit lamp guy will follow me for the remainder of my days. Don't worry, they're patching the server right now. I don't know what was going on with this pot of water. I mean, probably nothing, but it really did look quite creepy. Someone actually said this would send me into a spiral, and I fully agree. Maybe this is why they say that water never boils when you watch it, because it's actually just glitching out.
When I tell you I just had the weirdest experience of my entire damn life at Walmart, I'm not joking. I had to literally get the hell up out the store. I left my stuff there and I took off. I came home as quick as I could.
This glitch in the Matrix story from a woman named Carla is genuinely one of the craziest things I've ever heard, but I also fully believe this story. Carla is out window shopping at Walmart, okay? It's just a bit of self-care, you know, she's just there having a good time. When suddenly, unexpectedly, she sees something that she can't explain.
Okay, I want you to look at this picture because this picture of me, that is my signature haircut. That is the haircut that I get. Every time I chop my hair off, that is the haircut I get. It is that haircut that is stacked in the back and it comes to the front. That's my haircut. My kids will tell you that is my haircut. So I'm at Walmart and I'm shopping and I'm minding my own business. I do shopping, window shopping to kind of like get my me time in, just kind of like time for myself, right? So I'm not really paying attention to what's going on around me. I'm in the clothing section and I'm looking at the clearance aisle. I just kind of feel a little bit funny, so I stop shopping and I look up and I look kind of to the left of me. My jaw drops, y'all. Tell me why I saw me and my kids from like 15 years ago, standing literally 10 feet away from me. Like, what? No, it wasn't nobody else that I was mistaken for, me and my kids. It was us from like 15 years ago. I had that same haircut that I just showed you, but they looked like this.
You might think that this is a case of a doppelganger, okay? That's kind of what I was thinking at first. But then Carla shares this detail, that it wasn't just 2 children that her like younger self had with her, it was 3. And the reasoning that she's kind of come to for that is so chilling.
But the even crazier part is there was a boy that was with us. He was a little bit older than my oldest daughter, and the craziest part about that is I had a miscarriage when I was 18. And I knew it was a boy. But I sat there for like 2 seconds and I watched them and they looked so happy. And then reality hit me and I realized like what the f is going on, and it scared me and I just took off. But what's crazy to me is there was 3 kids there. So I don't know what timeline that was from or what happened there, but I am telling you, this was the craziest experience I've ever had in my entire life.
She posted some other videos about this, and I'm gonna get into one here in a second, but this story is so fascinating to me. What if there are times in our lives where we fully encounter our older selves or our younger selves, like she is here? She is so certain that this was her, not a doppelganger, not a lookalike. I mean, if you think to yourself, okay, well, maybe you don't know what you look like. She knows what her kids looked like, and she's seeing a glimpse of her children like 15 years ago. In response to one comment saying, we all have multiple timelines going all at once. So right now in the universe, there's an old you, young you, baby you, happening all at the same time. You just jump time somehow. Carla posted the following video, and it's like 8.5 minutes long. I'm not gonna include the whole thing here. You can go to her account. As always, I have everybody that I talk about today listed down below to go watch the whole thing. She gets into the subject of multiverses, which is something I've seen people talk about a lot online lately. There's kind of this talk of like scientists have proved that multiverses are real. And I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the Doctor Strange movies. I'm sure you know what the concept of a multiverse is. It's just the idea, like this commenter said, of multiple universes all existing at the same time. And anyway, she says some interesting things in this video about multiverses and Mandela effects that I'm going to include here.
I saw a video on the multiverse theory, Mandela effects, and glitches, and it all brought everything together for me. So they think that they've kind of cracked the code when it comes to glitches in the Matrix and Mandela effects and things like that. Mandela effects are when you remember something one way and other people remember it a different way. Like the Cornucopia from the Fruit of the Loom logo. A lot of people remember the Cornucopia being there, but there's also people that don't remember it being there. Berenstain Bears. Some people remember it being spelled with an A-I-N, and some people remember it being spelled E-I-N. So there's a lot of examples of the Mandela effects out there. And we all know about the glitches in the Matrix. So when it comes to the multiverse theory, everyone has different choices. When you make a decision, whether it's good or bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. There's multiple decisions that you can make on one given situation, right? The multiverse theory states that there are multiple timelines that are going on at the same time as this timeline. And depending on which decision or choice that you make, these other timelines have you making the other possible choices and decisions at the same time, and those consequences are playing out at the same time as this one. So there's infinite timelines that are going on at the same time because there's infinite possibilities because of the amount of choices that we can make at any given time for any given person.
It's all really fascinating, and I will say, again, I know you guys have seen a big surge of skeptic Loey recently, but I think the story is true. I think she saw exactly what she thinks that she saw. And how can that be explained? I don't know. Maybe something in our brains does it. Maybe it is a true, like, paranormal experience, a glitch in the matrix, some sort of unexplainable phenomena. Or maybe it didn't actually happen at all, but I don't think it matters, because if that's what her brain is processing, it's real to her. And again, I want to make it very clear, I fully believe this story. I've never had an experience like that before. The closest thing that I can think of, and I've talked about this before, and trigger warning for loss of a parent. We were talking about Father's Day earlier with the Raycon earbuds, but I lost my dad, my goodness, I guess that this year is 9 years ago. And right after he passed away, specifically in Walmart, I know this is so random, but at the time I was kind of living in the middle of nowhere. It was really one of the only outings that I had during the week. When I would go shopping at Walmart, I would see him for a split second in every single man that I saw. It would be like I would look at a man, and for just a brief little millisecond, I would see my 6'5" elderly father. And I would blink and it would suddenly not be him anymore. It would suddenly be somebody totally different. And I still remember it to this day, almost a decade later. Was that just my brain processing grief in a really weird way? Most likely, of course. But it was so real to me. To this day, I don't think that matters. That I cannot view it from a logical standpoint. That is what happened. I saw my dad as like a random man every 5 minutes in a Walmart. I hope it makes sense. It's not super similar, but just the closest, I guess, like story that I can equate to it. But yeah, check out Carla's account if you want to hear more. Now, Carla talked a bit about Mandela effects and specifically the fruit of the loom cornucopia, which I found very interesting because online there's an entire group of people who actually believe that fruit of the loom's cornucopia, you know, the Mandela effect where it's like fruit of the loom never had a cornucopia on the logo. A lot of people think that that's not a Mandela effect at all, that it's just the company blatantly lying and gaslighting us. And over time, there have been some very interesting things to actually back this up. And most recently in this video from tierntoks, she finds proof that the fruit of the loom cornucopia sure as heck existed at one point.
My husband and I are at a vineyard right now, and we decided to, in true millennial fashion, play a game to pass the time, and we found this really old game. It turns out if you look at the back of the box, it's from 1991. 1991. The very first card that we look at is called Clues. That's the theme. So the idea is that you give your partner the clues and they have to guess the brand. The first 3 clues right here are underwear, cornucopia, and apples and grapes. Can you guess what the brand is? Can you guess? I know it's backwards, but you can read that. It's Fruit of the Loom. This is from 1991. That proves that there was always a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo as far back as 1991. There was always a cornucopia.
And once again, this is not the first evidence that someone has found that the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia did exist at one point. I mean, clearly this is a game. It's not like Fruit of the Loom official merchandise or something, but why would this game from the 90s talk about a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so random. And like I said, this is not an isolated incident. Back in 2023, there was a TikToker named dimelifting who made a video about this topic and basically insinuated that Fruit of the Loom was just gaslighting everybody.
I got to the bottom of the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia Mandela effect and I'm upset. Claire really pulled through for us and went through all of her old clothes until she found an official logo. Not only is this an official Fruit of the Loom shirt, except the cornucopia looks exactly how we've all described it and remembered it. This reignited my fixation, and after digging through the internet, I found this old newspaper that specifically says Fruit of the Loom logo was initially a cornucopia. And Fruit of the Loom has been questioned about the cornucopia. They've straight up been lying to us, saying that it never existed. Please note that this Fruit of the Loom image that was created from people's memories matches exactly what's on Claire's shirt. Not only are they lying to us, they're intentionally causing chaos. If you go to their homepage, they have a whole timeline of their logos and what company has that. That's not evidence enough that they're intentionally trying to cause chaos. These are what their TikToks look like.
I don't know.
I'm convinced this is 100% corporate gaslighting. Mixed feelings about this because honestly it is one of the greatest marketing ploys in all of history, but at what cost? This has caused me so much distress that both my husband and my therapist forbade me from pursuing it any further. Glad I pursued my heart and got to the bottom of this, but tell me what you think. Should we just admire their marketing or should we open a class action lawsuit to be reimbursed for emotional damage?
What's fascinating is that Fruit of the Loom commented on this video and said, while there was never a cornucopia, we love the dedication. There are so many Mandela effects that I, to this day, don't understand. Berenstain Bears is #1 for me. I loved reading as a kid. I literally had that game, the Game Boy game of the Berenstain Bears. One of the other ones that really bugs me is Chick-fil-A. I grew up in Georgia. There were Chick-fil-A's everywhere. I remember Chick-fil-A not having a C, it being CHIK filet, but the Mandela effect that most people say is actually that it used to be CHIC filet. Whatever. The cornucopia one also messes me up. I would say that that's like #3 for me in terms of I do not understand how this is real. Because I had Fruit of the Loom products growing up. I do remember the cornucopia. Why would the masses just make up a cornucopia, okay? I can understand sometimes with Mandela effects. More recently, we had talked about like the statue of David and how he had hearts in his eyes and how most people did not remember that. And I was kind of like, I mean, maybe I get this one. Maybe we all just didn't notice or were never close enough, whatever. I still think it's weird. The cornucopia, to this day, I actually do agree. I think that Fruit of the Loom, for some reason, is just straight up lying. And I don't understand why. Because if that's true, if there was never a cornucopia, I am not from this timeline, I fear. This TikToker named Anthony posted a video saying, I passed a man wearing a full suit with a hairstyle that also looked like something from the 80s. And while this may seem innocent at first, by the end of this clip, I was convinced that this person passed a real time traveler.
Passed someone on the trail, like a guy. He looked like he was like from the 80s. He was wearing a full suit that like looked like he was from the 80s. And I was like, ew, I don't like that. I got a weird vibe from him. And look at what I just found. Is this not like terrifying? Should I open it?
All that was inside was a map dated 1989 and a little orange screwdriver. I left it and kept walking. I was in the woods and saw the man in the suit walk by, and he was carrying this briefcase. And he saw me and started making whistling noises at me. I got super creeped out and waited for him to keep walking, walked back to the trail, and luckily ran into my dad, who had been jogging. My dad had seen him walking the opposite direction earlier and had noticed that it was strange. Maybe just a weird moment that didn't mean anything, but it really scared me. Sorry if you're just a normal guy and I opened your briefcase. The briefcase is bizarre. So many people literally said that this was an alternate reality game, an ARG, some sort of, I don't know, internet hoax. And this poster made a follow-up, and in kind of reading their responses to people, I don't think that that is the case. There was a possible explanation that it could be a family member of a friend. This was around like Easter, or I think on Easter, and this family member was someone who would always wear suits. It just sounded a lot like them. So it's possible that that's who it was, but it doesn't explain like the briefcase, the map, the whistling. It's very, very, very strange. So low-key would not be surprised if Anthony actually did encounter a time traveler in the woods. I'm so curious what you guys' thoughts on this one were, because once again, there seems to be a pseudo explanation. That full video is up on their account, which of course, as everybody is listed down below. But yeah, time traveler or just a guy in a suit. I don't know. So I did a Glitch in the Matrix TikToks video. This probably would have been like a year or so ago, where I included a string of videos about the Crystal Mall in Waterford, Connecticut. And it all kicked off with roberttolppi making videos about strange happenings in this mall. And I'm so thrilled to say that he recently posted another.
The mall keeps changing and I can't find a way out. That used to be an exit. Now the doors are gone. It's completely sealed off. I'm gonna walk to the other end. Look at that chandelier. Something must be wrong with the lighting in this place because I think I'm seeing things. You used to be able to exit through Bed Bath & Beyond, but it looks like they're closed for good. I think those are doors down there, but I don't know how to get to the other level. These escalators have been broken for a year now. If I remember correctly, there's stairs down that way, though. I found the stairs, and now I'm walking towards the play area. This is not the play area. Macy's is on the other end of the mall. All of this is different. What was that? I just wanted to buy some jeans. There are exit signs everywhere. They must be inside the stores. Wasn't this escalator broken? Unless this one's different. This is a different one. Somehow I am on the complete opposite side of the mall. I don't remember walking past that chandelier again. This goes on forever. I am at the broken escalators again, and I think I'm going to walk back to where I came from. I found the way out. I swear this was Bed Bath & Beyond 2 seconds ago. Should I come back here? Where's my car?
And while this video is clearly edited, I find it so fascinating because after he posted his original series of I think like 3 TikToks about the Crystal Mall, there was a woman on TikTok who came out and said, I've had so many weird dreams about this mall, and other people say that they've had similar dreams, like this mall has weird vibes. So watching this, I feel like I'm seeing her creepy mall dream, and it's very, very, very fascinating to me. So cool to have an expansion in the Crystal Mall universe. Oh god, okay, there's this video from Certified Tiz Wizard where this poster's mom comes into their room with somebody on the phone, except that somebody is the hacker group Anonymous.
Corruption, by surveillance, by a system that feeds on fear and division. You are told to hate your neighbor. You are told to trust the lies. You are told your voice is small. They have sold you the illusion of choice, while tightening the chains around your mind, your wallet, your future. But the time for silence is over. The world is cracking. The cracks are not breaking us. They are letting the light in. Wear the mask and look around where everyone is same. You are not powerless. You were born with a voice. Now this is not a moment. It is a movement. We are not here to ask. We are here to demand. A better world is not only possible, it is necessary. When everyone has a mask, they are compelled to not know who you are and cannot act against you and prompt
What the?
Now, there's some really weird stuff being said here, but what's weirder is there's no active call. It doesn't seem like any audio is playing from an app or anything, but they don't open up like the apps to show that, so I guess it could be YouTube in the background or something else. What I will tell you is that recently my phone has been glitching really badly. I feel like it happens every time that there's a new iPhone. This isn't an iPhone in the video, but my phone lately, apps will crash and the audio will continue to play from a video in an app that is fully closed down, crashed for like 30 seconds. It's happened with TikTok, it's happened with YouTube. I don't necessarily think that this is just like a random hacker coming through the speaker of this phone. If it wasn't expected, I can imagine it's so scary. It also does go on for like 2 minutes. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that a glitch of this device is much more likely than this hacker group just randomly coming through the speaker. That being said, is it okay if I plug my own TikTok here? Because recently I had something so weird happen to me and I feel like nobody thinks it's as weird as I do. I woke up to the single scariest voicemail I've ever gotten in my entire life, and my leading theory right now is that it was like somebody from beyond the grave. I don't know. I went to the ER last week. I got really bad food poisoning. It was very dramatic and I was there for like 12 hours. And then this morning I woke up and I saw that Cedars-Sinai Hospital was calling me. And I wasn't sure what it could possibly be. Like my bill hasn't even come in the mail. I didn't know why they were calling. I let it go to voicemail. I slept another hour. When I got up, I started my day and I listened to the voicemail. It starts out as just like this really high-pitched noise. But then like halfway through the voicemail, it literally sounds like it's something out of a horror movie. My bestie and I both agree that we think that it sounds like somebody is talking in the second half. Like, I feel like you can hear someone talking. And initially my thought when I was hearing this was, wow, that was really creepy. I wonder what the hospital wanted. Can I borrow your phone? So I called back the number, and this is what you hear.
Thank you for calling Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. We apologize, but this phone number is not set up for calls to be returned. We will automatically try to call you again for you to share your experience feedback with us, or we will send the patient experience survey via email or text message.
It wasn't even a person calling me. It was like one of those automated surveys. So why did that happen?
Sounds like a person.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like an automated voice at all. It sounds like a real person is talking in the background. At first I thought that I was being like butt dialed somehow. I don't know, but if you can explain this, let me know, because right now I just think that I got a weird ghost call from the hospital. Oh my God, I forgot. They called me again earlier and I didn't listen to the voicemail. Oh my God, wait, should I play it? Oh my God, it happened again. Ew. Dude, that's so weird. What the hell is that? That is so weird. I literally fully forgot. I wish I could show you guys my call history without like doxing the number of this hospital that I went to, but like, that is so weird that it's happened twice. Oh my God, I completely forgotten. I literally got that call earlier today and looked down at my phone and thought, nope, I am not answering that, and forgot about it until this very moment. That all to say, technology is just a little weird right now. I don't know what we can blame it on, but it's strange. Mrs. Motivated 2025 had a strange glitch in the Matrix experience. It takes place in her car one day. She's actually waiting to go into work. She's sitting in her car, windows rolled up, on her phone, whatever, when suddenly she hears a buzzing sound, as if there's a bee somewhere.
I noticed that I can hear a buzzing in my car. Like it's like a bug buzzing. And I'm like, God, that sounds like a bee. Like, you know, you can hear it like, and I'm like, so I turn everything down. I'm like, there's definitely a bee in here. So next thing you know, I see a bee and it flies and it goes on my dash. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill this because I'm allergic to bees. I can't do bees. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to kill this bee. I get this piece of paper that I had on my passenger seat. Not sure what kind of paper. I rolled it up. He's sitting on my dash. I hit him. Okay, I see with my two eyes. And at that time, I'm young, 20/20 vision, okay? I see. I swat him. I hit him. He is dead, okay? I bring up my paper and I look and there's nothing there. Nothing. No evidence of a bee. So in my head, I'm looking at this paper and I'm looking at the dash and I'm like, am I losing it? I might be.
You might be thinking to yourself, Lo, that's not that weird. I mean, maybe the bee just flew off somewhere. Well, she hears the buzzing happen again, and you won't believe it, but the exact same thing happens.
I don't hear the buzzing anymore. It is what it is. I'm playing on my phone, okay? Just playing on my phone. I hear buzzing again. This is about 5 minutes later. And I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? I'm like, oh my God, he's still alive. He comes. It was almost like deja vu. Have y'all ever had some deja vu? Same way. Comes up, lands on the dash. I grab the paper again. I smash. I know this time. I know I made contact. I know it. And I kept the paper there and I'm like, I know, because I can hear the buzzing still, like he's dying. And I'm like, yes, this is it. This is it. I pull the paper up. There is nothing there.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this was a sign from the universe to leave the bee be. We love the bees around here, okay? I had an entire colony of them in my chimney and had to hunt for like 2 months to find someone who could go up there and get them, because every other service was saying that they would have to like fumigate it, like they would have to, you know. And I was like, that is simply not an option. There's a massive amount of bees in there who all need a place to go. But what a bizarre experience. Now, I don't know if this one is an optical illusion or or a glitch in the Matrix, but whichever it is, it's really weird. Now, it comes from a TikToker named The Original Philosopher who asks the simple question, where's the shadow coming from? And as he pans throughout the video, I'm like, okay, I mean, it's a shadow. It's clearly coming from somewhere, but I can't figure out where from either. Okay guys, sorry, I did not realize there was copyrighted music in this, copyrighted spooky music. But basically this poster is just saying there's nothing above him. Like you can see in this clip, it doesn't really look like the shadow is coming from anything in particular. He pans over there, there's nothing over there, you know, nothing that long anyway, because that is a really tall shadow. No idea. That is a really strange one. I mean, again, I'm sure it's clearly a shadow of something. It's not just like a phantom shadow, but how disorienting to like not know where it's coming from. I have no answers based off of that video whatsoever. But once again, the comment section here was so funny. They'll fix it on the next update. Generally, the consensus seems to be that it was like a map glitch in our simulation. But I don't know, if you know where the shadow is coming from or you have any ideas, let me know. Lately, I've been saving any like heavier TikTok videos towards the end of these compilations. So the last 4 TikToks are going to contain some heavier themes. The first one comes from a TikToker named ashleyhawn who is reading this glitch in the Matrix Reddit post titled, I fell off a cliff and when I was rescued, my entire reality was different. So a quick warning, of course, for talk of this accident. It was a snowmobile accident, but there's also discussion of DV later in this. I'm going to try to kind of skip over that, but it is part of this poster's experience and is part of the story. In February of 2020, this Redditor was on their very first trip with their boyfriend at the time. They're snowmobiling, he's been driving most of the day, and when he finally gives the reins over to her, unfortunately, she loses control of the snowmobile.
My boyfriend managed to roll off the back at the last minute and is trying to save me, but the snow is really deep and he's having a hard time getting down from the steep cliff. My legs are fully submerged in snow with the snowmobile on top of me and I'm not sure if I'm paralyzed. He calls for help and all these men run down to save me. When they finally pull me out, I can stand and it's the happiest moment of my life. I'm not paralyzed. I don't have as much as a scratch on me. Do I have a concussion? Maybe. It's hard to say. The snowmobile also miraculously has minimal damage, only the little plastic part is cracked. In hindsight, this moment is where everything changed for me, but you have to understand I didn't piece this together and come to this realization until months later. These are the differences. There was suddenly a pandemic. Everything was shut down within a few days. In my old timeline, there was a virus going around, but it had only impacted a few people and it was similar to a norovirus or flu, not big enough to be worried about. I had a different job. At the time, I chalked it up to the pandemic. We were on the trip because I was about to start a new job. I had signed the contract and I knew what the role entailed. I was going to start the Monday after, but after the crash, I couldn't get a hold of my new boss for 9 months and he finally told me I got the job in November, even though I had accepted in February. He also comments how I've never been into the office when he gave me a tour in January 2020 and we spent the day together. The role I'm in is completely different than the papers I signed.
This is where this poster also says that her boyfriend then became violent with her and it was something that she had never experienced with him before. It came out of absolutely nowhere and she stayed in the relationship, which she also said was not like her whatsoever, like not like who she was before this crash.
In the old timeline, I was on a low dose of Effexor, Xanax, and blood pressure medication. I don't take any medication at all in this timeline. Over the next year, a series of weird things that don't make any sense keep happening to the point I start to feel suspicious. I all of a sudden have an incurable disease I didn't have before. I'm in pictures I have no idea what the context is. I'm wearing clothes I don't own anymore. My friends have memories of me I don't share, and I'm getting more and more depressed. I just keep thinking this can't be my life. This isn't my life. It just felt like I wasn't supposed to be here, and I finally look at Reddit and realize I died in the snowmobile crash and this is an alternate timeline I'm in.
But in part 2 of this, Ashley goes on to continue explaining the changes in this reality.
I finally work up the nerve to tell my sister, who is surprisingly supportive. She asked what else is different. There was a song in the other timeline. It was a very popular song by Shania Twain or Sheryl Crow type. Anyone would know it. I sing it to her with the lyrics and tell her we always used to listen to the song growing up. She has no recollection of it. I type the words into Google and the song doesn't exist here. The longer I'm in this timeline, the more I forget the words and the melody of the old song. Also, there was no iPhone 13 in the other timeline because Steve Jobs was superstitious and it was supposed to go from iPhone 12 to iPhone 14. I notice little glitches like that are stupid and don't matter. How do I feel about it now? I've accepted my new reality. I feel bad for my sister and parents in the old timeline that they're dealing with my death in a freak snowmobile accident. But there's nothing I can do. Trying to find them again would be like trying to walk from Canada to Australia with no map. Impossible and waste of time. I'm just trying to make my reality the best I can now. It clearly for some reason wasn't my time to die. I was always agnostic before this, but didn't believe in different timelines. I thought movies like The Butterfly Effect and Run Lola Run were dumb concepts, but I don't rule out anything ever.
In an edit, this Redditor actually answered a couple of questions. The first one, of course, being that yes, they had dumped that piece of shit boyfriend, but also talked about the fact that in their reality, Steve Jobs had passed away in 2011, but nonetheless, the iPhone 13 never came out because Steve was superstitious. What I find really fascinating is that there were other people in that comment section saying, wait, I definitely thought there was no iPhone 13, or that they remembered it exactly the same way. The poster can't find any kind of proof that they ever were on the medication that they remembered being on before, and they ended off by saying that it is highly possible that they bumped their head and things seemed a little weird after. You know, you go through a traumatic event, and of course it seems like life was really, really crazy after that. The pandemic was a traumatic event pretty much for everybody, like an unprecedented thing that we all lived through. So I find it really, really, really fascinating because I do remember people around the time of 2020 talking about how they believed we jumped timelines, or they specifically jumped timelines, and things were very, very weird. And again, I think a lot of that can be equated to this was a once in a lifetime, hopefully, event that nobody ever saw coming and nobody knew how to deal with, and maybe things just felt a little funky for us all. But this is so specific. I mean, even the detail about this like Shania Twain-esque song, like that is so weird. I don't know. This one is so fascinating to me. I completely believe the original poster of this, by the way. Like, it could be a totally made up story for, you know, clicks or whatever, but whether or not it's a real glitch in the Matrix, I believe their experience. Whether it is that they topped timelines and you believe in quantum immortality theory, which is like, if you know, pass away in one timeline, your soul just jumps to another one, your consciousness, I guess. Whether you want to say it's that, or that they bumped their head and didn't remember things right, and that the trauma kind of skewed things in their mind, I don't think it really matters because it's real to them. I don't know. I'm really curious if any of you have an experience like that though. In the last few videos, the only warnings I have for you is that there is a taxidermied fish in it. But just in case you don't want to see that, of course, it's like a fully dried out taxidermied piece, but just in case. This poster, going by Sondermountainn, lives on a mountain basically. And one day, as she's heading out to an appointment, she stops because she sees something really weird on the ground in the woods. Yeah, it's a pufferfish, just a random pufferfish, and it looks like it's fresh out of the ocean, all puffed up. Now, obviously I say that, but it's fully cleaned out, and the initial thought that everybody had here was that it was a taxidermied piece. And upon further inspection from this poster, it's proven that that is what it is.
Okay guys, update on the pufferfish situation. I was on my way to get an MRI when I found this. It was off of a road that I live on, like a couple 100 yards away from my house, which is why I saw it as I was driving down the road. So you guys were right. If we look closer, there are suture lines in here, which I totally didn't see. And there's also some fishing line wrapped around it as well. So our best guess is that this was someone's decoration that flew off of their porch in the rain, because we have this little hangy part here. That said, I have posted in my neighborhood group. No one has claimed the pufferfish, so we don't know whose it is. It does smell. Someone commented and said if it's taxidermied, it won't smell. It smells. I put it in my car for hours and that was unwise. It smells.
Some people in the comments were saying like you did not follow the rule of do not take things that you find in the forest out of the forest. But she kind of is like, you know, it was like 300 feet from my house, man. Like, it was right outside my door. This is where I live. Of course, I'm gonna investigate the random pufferfish in the woods. I guess it was decor that someone had, or maybe a package that got lost or something. I was looking on Etsy and you can buy taxidermied pufferfish for about 12 bucks, honestly. But this is a bigger one than those. So I imagine this is like a more valuable piece. How did it end up in the woods? I don't know. I would have had a very similar reaction. Like, did the pufferfish just grow legs and decide to go for a little stroll? Anyways, you guys, I think we had 22, 23, I have no idea, but we got through a lot of Glitch in the Matrix TikToks today. And I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go to give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to say a big thank you to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you want to join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive perks like members only videos, polls to help me decide on future video topics, and so much more, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.